So the last thing I want to talk with you guys about UX about is your navigation. And this is going to be your assignment too, your action step for when you go back to the office. Navigation is something that's often overlooked. People build their website, they throw their navigation up there, they don't really think about how it's organized, okay? But from a UX point of view, we need to think about it. So what's happening here is what we always want to do is we don't need a home button. You see, I don't have a home button here. There's just my logo and the cup of SEO, right? So we make it so that's the home button. People know that. People know to click on that and it takes them back home if they want to go back to the home page. But the hierarchy of the rest of this navigation is very specific. So we always want to lead with our products or services. In my case, I've got both because I've got my services for my business and I also have the book. So that's what's first and second, the services and the book. Why is the book second? Because the book doesn't make me nearly as much income as my services. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So that's why it's second. And that's something to think about, like that 80-20 rule. What is the biggest part of my business that people want? That comes first. If there's 2 or 3 things, then you have a drop-down menu from there, which is what I have for Cup of SEO. Next, we've got things that might be interesting to some people, like appearances. I've got a bunch of podcast appearances. Then there's videos. I've got a bunch of tutorials that I've made. And then we've got my podcast and a gallery of some of the websites we've built. Those come after that because they're just not as important. Those are kind of for people who want to drill down a little bit deeper, like, what has this guy done? I want to see him speak before we hire him. You know, things like that. So that's kind of the middling stuff. And at the end, we have the blog, we have about, and then we have contact. And that's something, the eye naturally doesn't go to that spot for contact, at least it didn't, but it's been conditioned to do so. There's an expectation that that contact tab is going to be last. If you don't have a contact tab on your navigation, please put one there. Sometimes it's like just not there. I've seen customers, I'm like, before we start working, let's get a contact button. No one's calling me. Okay, well, they can't find a way to call you. But these things are overlooked when it's not what you do. Doesn't mean you're a bad business owner or what you do isn't fantastic. It means that when it comes to web design, things get lost in the shuffle because it's not your area of expertise, right? So as promised, your homework is to review your navigation and line it up the way I just shared with you.